pirate adventures of John Swede. I'm going to tell you a story about pirates, treasure, hidden palaces, strange magic, and a little boy who was lost at sea. It's also a tale about the perils of wishes. There once was a rough, tough, and terrifying old pirate called Greybeard. He'd become the most feared pirate on the seven seas, and over the years had collected vast amounts of treasure and gold. His ship, the Mermaid's Tear, was as fast as the wind, and he had an excellent crew who were loyal and hard-working. But Greybeard was not happy. He felt he needed more. So one night when the moon was full and the sea was calm, he called out a wish to Neptune. "O God of the sea, will you hear my plea? Bring me fortune, even if it brings misfortune." Almost as soon as he'd finished speaking, the wind whipped up and a mighty storm started to throw the ship around. The crew ran to their posts and battled through the night until sunrise, when the sea calmed. Greybeard could not believe his eyes when he saw something floating on the waves, a wooden bucket containing a baby boy. "Quick, save the lad!" shouted the old pirate, who felt his heart melt upon seeing the child. "The gods must have sent you to help me find more gold and treasure." The crew gave the baby the name John Swede. John after Greybeard, as that was his true name, and Swede after the mashed root vegetable the child ate in abundance. Over the years, the pirate taught him all he knew about sailing, the night sky, and finding gold and treasure. Each morning Greybeard would tell him, "One day, my lad, you will find me the greatest riches in the world. Only then I will be truly happy. Fortunes bring happiness. That's what I truly believe." It was on John's 7th birthday when he saw sadness in Greybeard's eyes. "What's wrong, my captain?" John asked. The old man replied, "I don't understand, my lad. I thought if I taught you everything I knew, we would have found that treasure I wanted so much. Maybe this year will be the year I get everything I desire." That night, on a calm, starry night, John stared at the waters and made a wish to Neptune. "O God of the sea, will you hear my plea? Bring me fortune, even if it brings misfortune." The sea started to swell, and the wind grew strong. Then the most frightening storm battered the ship until it was wrecked, and all were lost in the waters below. Just one was washed up on the shore of a nearby island. The boy John Swede had somehow been saved by the sea and delivered to the beach. It quickly appeared to John that he was once again on his own, but remembering the teachings of Greybeard, he set to work building a shelter out of palm leaves, driftwood, and mud. Supplies from the Mermaid's Tear's wreck gave John enough food to keep him alive for years. Then after a few days, the treasure previously held on the ship started to float to the shore. This cheered John up. He was the richest person on the island. This moment of happiness made him realize that this was the feeling Greybeard must have loved so much. Over the following weeks, months, and years, more gold and treasure washed ashore, making John happy each time. However, this feeling of joy never lasted very long. John made himself a life on the island, which he named Swedeland. He kept himself busy building sandcastles, counting his gold, and fishing. One day, on one of his trips on the island's south side, he saw an unusual rock with a face carved upon it. He couldn't remember ever seeing it before, but as he approached it, it started to talk. Speak now, John Swede. You have Neptune's ears and wishes. Taken aback with surprise and delight, John thought about what would make him happy. I know that gold and treasure make me happy, but I only have a little hut and a small amount of treasure. I would love to have a palace of my own, servants, and of course lots more gold and treasure. I want more fortune than Greybeard ever had. Then I'm sure I would be the happiest boy in the world. The stone head stared blankly at him. Head to the very center of this island. There you will find a jungle and an ancient forgotten palace. This will contain all the riches you asked for. The animals will be your servants, and this will be your kingdom. With that, John ran towards the middle of the island. Before, he was always afraid to venture into it due to the wild animals he could hear at night, but now he had a newfound confidence. After much hunting, he discovered an incredible building, a golden palace with 100 rooms and treasures in each one. There were monkey servants and wild cats as guards. This made John very happy. It took John a few years to count all the gold he now had, but for some reason, even though he had so much wealth, he still felt sad. Perhaps he needed more. He decided to head back to the stone and see if Neptune could help him once more. But despite searching all day, John could not find it. So instead he called out to the ocean, "O God of the sea, will you hear my plea? Bring me fortune, even if it brings misfortune." The sea rippled, and the face of Neptune appeared in the waves. "Fortune in gold will not bring you happiness, John Swede. Fortune in friends and family is more valuable than palaces and riches. I tried to help Greybeard by giving him a son, but blinded by greed, he kept chasing treasure, even though you were with him all along. I will give you this new fortune, but your money will all be gone." John agreed, and with this, a mighty wave crashed over the island, picking up John, his palace, and the treasure, and sweeping them out to sea. John awoke to cheering and rejoicing and found himself on the docks of a small port town. Everyone was celebrating a great hero. "Why are you all so happy?" John asked the little girl. Replying through happy tears, she cried, "So many of us here are so poor and find it hard to pay for food. Then last night, every house in the land received a pouch of gold inside a silver shell. It means we can survive through the cold winter. Whoever did this must be the most wonderful and kindest person on earth." "That wonderful and kind person is my dear son," said a familiar voice. It was Greybeard with his crew. "I'm so sorry, my boy. Neptune kept us safe and allowed us to watch over you. I realized that all I missed was you, not my treasure. Please forgive me, and we can help this town together." Greybeard and John hugged as the crew cheered. John felt something he had never felt before, a warm feeling in his heart that made him stand taller and glow with pride. From that day onwards, John and Greybeard always shared any fortune that came their way, making them happier and richer in every way.